Hey everyone, Rhodes and I are back again to do another lesson. I hope to use Remy for this one just because there are some skills for more early listeners, but we tried it and it didn't go over too well. So Rhodes is going to do the lesson with me. The first thing we'll talk about are learning to listen sounds. Some things you want to remember with learning to listen sounds are you always want to pair the word with the sound. Don't just do the sound. The first goal for your child is going to be for them to learn receptive and expressive with the sound. And then the second goal is going to be for them to learn the word. Once they learn the sound, you're going to want to actually drop it and just only stress the word. And if you need a list of learning to listen sounds, just email me or your speech pathologist and we will get them to you. But in general, an easy way to start with them is just the animal sounds. They're all pretty basic. The next thing that we're going to talk about is moving an object by your mouth. If your child is not paying attention to what you're saying and not attempting to repeat what you're saying, you're just going to put that toy right next to your mouth, and that way it'll force them to look at you and hopefully imitate the sound. It's especially useful for B's, P's, and M's because those are very visual on your mouth. And then we're going to focus on listening and following two critical elements. This is not two-step directions. It's just one step with two key words. So put the horse in the car. It's one direction that they're carrying out, but they need to listen for two critical items. And you have to have multiple items for each element. So I'll explain that as you go, but a general rule would be 3 or 4 of each type of element that you're doing. And then if your child is higher level, you want to increase that to 3 critical elements by adding a preposition. So put the horse in front of the car, put the horse beside the car. All right, so we'll go ahead and start playing. Rowie? First we're going to just play with some animals and barn animals, okay?
Okay.
And
Mommy.
Rowie, so just show them how you play with your animals, okay?
Okay. I want to get the
well, first, can we just do the animals, sweetheart?
We gotta do the animals first.
All right.
First is I like doing the animals first. Is it that that bar and these animals are so cool, and those toys are my favorite.
Okay, so obviously Rhodes has a lot of language, but what I want to show you is while a child with not a lot of language is playing, honey, show them how you just play with your barn. You just want to narrate, and just talk about what they're doing and use those learning to listen sounds a lot.
I play the elephant like this. Watch what it does.
So right here with a younger child or a new listener, I would just focus on that elephant. That's the elephant. You're playing with the elephant. Roar. Now you have the lion.
And the lion is the elephant's friend.
Yes.
And that's why, because they're friends, and he's the friend, and they're all friends. So they all go down. Oh, rain.
And Rowie, look at me. Say, ba.
Ba.
So you're just going to pull it to your mouth so that they can focus on what your mouth is doing with those movements. And like I said, right now you want to, with a new listener, focus on narrating. And then the first step is going to be for them to understand those learning to listen sounds and then starting to use those sounds. So if I want to check that my child is understanding the sound, that'd be a receptive check. So I would just say the animal's noise and see if they would grab it. Row.
Show them.
I know. I know. Listen to me. Roar.
Roar.
Which one is it? Show them.
And this lion is going right here, so he can see his friends, and he goes in his bed to go sleep, but he can still see Daddy.
Okay, so now we're going to work on following directions
And the dog is
with two critical elements. All right? So right here we have a boat, a car, an airplane, a train, and a chair. Now, if your child is a new listener, if you have to break it down and use a learning to listen sound, that's okay. You want them to be successful. You just have to understand that then they wouldn't really be following kind of the parameters of doing that two critical elements. And if I were to say, Rhodes, listen please.
I'm finding a mommy lion.
Okay, if I were to say, put the lion in the airplane, and then she grabs the lion.
I'm getting a mommy lion, but not a daddy lion.
Okay.
Okay, guys?
Go ahead and grab it.
I think it's not in there. There. Wait. I think I can see it. Somewhere.
Okay. So then if she grabs the lion and I say, good, now put it in the airplane, it is no longer two critical elements because I've broken it into two different sections.
So what? Now she's going for a ride.
But if I had a new child who was able to pick the lion, but then couldn't hold in their brain or didn't have enough language yet to know what the next step was, and so they needed a little clue, I could go ahead and say, ah, and see if they'll go ahead and put that lion in the airplane. Now, Rowie, can you show them how we do three elements? Okay. Okay, I need you to listen, all right?
Okay.
Don't talk, just listen. And try not to do any gestures or look at what you want them to do. You'll just be giving them clues. And children are really perceptive and they will pick up on a lot. All right, Rowie, I want you to put the zebra in front of the car. And try to just say it one time if possible.
Mom, the zebra's supposed to stay there.
Well, no, honey, I want you to show them how you can follow directions.
But needs to stay there so we won't get out.
Okay, where do you want to put, where do I want you to put him?
Right here?
Okay, that was good. So she followed two of those elements. All right, good job. Listen again. Put the zebra in front of the car. And see how I kind of highlighted that in front?
Where's the front?
Where's the front of the car?
Me?
Yeah. Very good. Here, scoot over so they can see.
So see?
Push back.
And then
So she got 2 out of 3, and then I had to repeat and emphasize the in front of. So we'll try a couple more prepositions and see if that's a skill she's ready for or if it's something she needs more work on. All right, Rowie, can you please put the elephant behind the train?
the elephant's sleeping.
That's fine.
Can he please sleep?
He can sleep when he does it.
Okay.
All right, good job. So you put the elephant behind the train. Very good.
But they can't even see.
They can't see because it's behind it. You're right. You did a good job. All right, so that's a way that you can use like the different transportation items, different vehicles, but you can also take one big item and break it down into multiple elements. So we're going to show you that with Peppa's Playhouse. We are big fans of Peppa in this house, aren't we, Rowie?
Yeah, but I think some Georgie fell, but
So if I were doing this with them,
it's my turn to talk. So I can't even see you because
well, I want them to be able to see the Peppa toy, honey.
and then but what if this tree house? It's called a tree house, not house. So then if Georgie's castle and the boys, they can't the girls can't come in, but Georgie says no.
Okay, it's my turn now. Okay.
It's my turn.
No, Rhodes Adeline, it is my turn now.
It's too short.
It is my turn now.
Fine.
Okay, so if I were working with Remy, I would just do like Mommy and Daddy Pig, Peppa, George, and keep it simple with the characters I was using. Rhodes, knows them all, so I can say get candy. If she needed another clue, you would say get candy cat. Scoot back so you can see the toy, please. All right, so with Peppa's Playhouse, you could say it's one big item, but then you can break it down by where you want the child to put the figure. So swing, ladder, clubhouse, slide, mud. You can use
or
any
flowers.
of those. Yeah,
you can smell.
Right. Okay, so Rhodes, can you put Rebecca in the mud? Maybe the next one will be in the swing. You have to listen. All right, good job.
Then she's on a slide in the mud.
Good. Can you put George in the swing? Okay, so that's just an example of how you use one big toy to break it down into multiple elements. And it might be like easy to assume that the barn would be a good one to use for this.
Mom, there's a bug. It's so tiny.
Okay, it's okay. I'll get it. But actually, the child would have to know kind of a lot about barns to be able to be successful with that. So like they would need to know pasture and silo or hen house. So they would need to know kind of a lot of details about a barn for them to carry out a multiple elements of the two critical element directions. So you could say put the lion in the pasture, put the sheep in the silo, but you need to make sure that they know those keywords that are in a barn.
I can't get to my turn now. So put Danny, but Danny says, no, this is the boys' castle.
Okay, good. All right. Is there anything else you would like to say to them?
Yeah. And Rebecca is going to jump, but she's wearing the shoes, so she got to put on her pretend boots.
Great.
They're yellow. They're going to go, and she's going to jump.
Okay, tell everyone thank you. We'll see you later.
Thank you. We'll see you later.
All right, thanks everyone. Hope that all made sense to you.
Do these ones, Mommy?
That's okay.